Are you Real ID ready? If you're not, you should be, because Real ID deadline is now under a month away.
Yeah, this morning our Andrea Albers is answering some of the frequently asked questions about Real ID. The requirements start on May 7th.
Yep, that's coming up quick. Who needs a Real ID? This applies to you if you plan to fly anywhere in the U.S. or visit a military base or other federal buildings. I spent some time at Mitchell Airport with TSA officers Matt and Joey to learn how the shift to Real ID will enhance safety.
How are we doing, sir? Good, good. Do you have a photo ID for me?
At Milwaukee's Mitchell International Airport,
That's the Real ID mark right here.
the majority of travelers I chatted with had already made the switch to Real ID.
A number of years ago when I lived here in Wisconsin, I recently moved to Florida.
Are you bothered at all by this extra step you have to?
No, I think everybody should be identified if you're in this country, and it makes us safer.
I travel every week for my work, and so it's just an easy process for me just to have gotten it done and out of the way.
Some
I meant to do it like months prior.
are still in the process.
I was born out of state and I have to get my birth certificate, which my current one went missing somewhere, so I have to order it from California, and it's a long process.
Like Brett discovered, you'll need to bring a few things with you to get your Real ID, including a way to prove your name, date of birth, and Wisconsin residency.
The first and most important thing to do is to visit our WisDOT DMV website and search for Real ID.
You can start the application online, see a checklist of required documents, and even make an appointment at the DMV.
Some of the most common documents that customers should prepare to bring in is a state-issued certified birth certificate or a valid U.S. passport.
If your name changed at some point, you'll also need proof of that.
If someone's name changed due to a marriage or divorce, we want you to bring in that marriage certificate or that court-ordered document, divorce decree, to prove that name change.
Any other electronics, laptops, iPads?
The move to Real ID is meant to increase security by setting minimum requirements to obtain one.
You're all set, miss. Thanks. We've got to make sure everybody gets on a safe plane, right?
At peak spring break travel, 13,000 people are coming through this airport each day.
Are you aware of the Real ID Act? Yes. All right, so May 7th is when you'll need that star in the corner, okay? I'm going to give you this. All right. It reminds you for that, okay? But you're all set today. Safe travels.
Okay, so you might be wondering about the cost. We were talking here.
She's
There's
wondering
a
about
lot of
things,
questions.
but yeah.
But first, let's talk about cost. So if your license is expired and you'll be renewing and then also getting Real ID,
Yeah.
it's the standard $34. That's what you'd pay to get a new license. If your driver's license is not up for renewal and you just need to upgrade to the Real ID, it will cost you $14.
Okay. So this is something that I've been putting off for
been
quite
looking
a
out
while.
all morning
and
what
I
the
feel like I'm
requirements are.
stressing out over this just because of all the documents that I need to bring to the DMV. Because the last thing I want to do is go to the DMV, not have a document, and then go back home to look for it.
And they've made it really easy on the website. You can go on there. It kind of guides you through it. It'll list out the documents you need to bring with you. So they have you taken care of there. But again, remember, if you have a passport, you'll still be able to fly domestically using that passport.
Okay.
I also want to show you one other thing here. Keeping passengers safe goes beyond checking your ID. TSA officers at Mitchell showed me some of the items that were abandoned by passengers who ended up breaking the rules.
Guns in any shape cannot go through.
Replicas of any kind. Oftentimes when we have a prohibited item going through, people are like, I had no idea that was in there from the camping trip 2 years ago.
Yeah, so take a look here. These are all items.
Yeah. There's yogurt on that, which I don't understand.
So that has to do with the liquids rule.
Oh,
yeah. But just last month, TSA officers intercepted 5 firearms at airports in Wisconsin, including Mitchell. And Matt's tip is when you're packing, start with a completely empty bag. You heard him talking there about, not realizing something from your last trip was in there. But if you start with an empty bag.
If your bag's gonna be a little heavy if there's a firearm in there. I mean,
well, start with that empty bag. Your travel day will be a breeze, okay?